B, and I want to refer you it's very similar to the graph for version A. I think this is just a minus or something. So I want to refer you to that original video because I did it at length and it was actually very good. See other video. It was very helpful, I think. Oops, sorry, it's really late. I can't write. Okay, this one is the same. See other video for version A. Version A. Okay, this one, period 5, is the same, I think, as period version A. Oh no, it's not. Okay, so real quick, period 5, that's y equals 3x plus 2 quantity square rooted, but the inverse is going to be x equals, okay. Now, the way we do PEMDAS is the following. I mean, the original PEMDAS, we're trying to get y by itself. Well, what happened to y? Y got multiplied first by 3. Then you would add 2, right? And then what you would do is square root all of that answer. Well, since we're going to get y by itself, we're going to go backwards, and we're going to do SADMEP. So we're going to take this and go backwards. Okay? But what's the inverse of square rooting? We're going to first square both sides. Then we're going to do the inverse of adding 2, which is subtract 2. Then we're going to do the inverse of multiplying by 3, which is divide by 3. So let's do that. First, let's square both sides. You could really refer to the same video actually as period 1 for more detailed instructions. Same problem with just different numbers. Square both sides. If I square the square root, I'm just going to get the squaring and the square root cancel each other out, so 3y plus 2. This is going to be x squared. Next step, I'm going to subtract 2 on both sides. And then I'm going to divide by 3. So what does y equal? X squared minus 2 divided by 3. Now a lot of people did it like this. Y equals x minus 2 divided by 3 squared. If you did that, that's wrong. And the reason you did that is you didn't do it in the right order. First, you tried to subtract by 2 here, and then you divided by 3, and then you squared. But why can you not do that? If you were to try to do that, why is that completely a red flag, a la Miss Williams? Why is that completely a red flag? If you had x equals square root of 3y plus 2, can you just subtract 2? Can you just go into the cookie jar and grab this 2 out, even though this is square rooted all deep in there? No, but that's what people did. They said, oh, and then they're like, oh, square root, and then it's divided by 3. And so that's how you got that very atrocious answer, because you cannot do that. That's a red flag. Okay? So that's the right way to do it. Okay, honors, period 6. Okay, so again, switch the x and the y. Okay, the thing is, I want to get y by itself. Let's talk about the PEMDAS of what's happening with the y. First, we're going to, according to PEMDAS, you're going to first multiply by 2. Then you're going to subtract 3. Then you're going to cubed root exponent, right? And then you're going to multiply by 4. So if I want to do the inverse, I'm going to go in the opposite direction. So first, okay, I'm going to, what's the opposite of multiplying, or inverse of multiplying by 4 is divide by 4. Then I'm going to, what's the inverse of doing the 1/3 power is doing the 3rd power. And then the inverse of subtracting 3 is adding 3, and the inverse of multiplying by 2 is dividing by 2. So let's do that in that order, okay? This is the SADMEP order. So first divide by 4, because look, the most outer layer, the last thing we did was multiply by 4, so the first thing we're going to do to undo is divide by 4. So x over 4 equals to y. Now the last thing that happens to y is the cubed 1/3 exponent. So to undo that, how do I undo a power of 1/3? We're going to do a power of 3. because if you do 1/3 times 3, that equals 1, so they cancel each other out, so that's just going to be 2y minus 3 to the 1 power. Well, what's this? Now you guys should know by now, x cubed over 4 cubed. 4 times 4 times 4 is 64, so x cubed over 64 equals 2y minus 3. Next, we did that, and we're going to add 3 to both sides. Okay, so x cubed over 64 plus 3 equals 2y. Okay, divide, and then divide by 2. So y is going to equal, x cubed plus over 64 plus 3 over 2. Now, so I technically, I would prefer that you would combine like terms. So 3, get common denominator. 3 times 64 is 192. So x cubed plus 192 over 64, all of that over 2. And so if you divide by 2, copy, change, flip, it's the same thing as copy, change, flip. And so it's x cubed plus 192 over 128 equals y. Or you could have kept it like this. And I would have been okay with that. All right? Okay, I'll be done in a second, you guys. Period. This one is the same as the other video, okay? It's version A for period 1. I posted it earlier today. These are the same as well. So look at the other video. Okay, this one. What's happening? So remember, we want to check, is there a flip? Again, the other video develops this in much more detail. Or a stretch, vertical stretch. Is there a horizontal shift? Or is there a vertical shift? So let's look. Is there a stretch? Well, yeah, there is a stretch, because look at this. Oh, wait, no, there isn't. Oh, yes, there is. Look, the slope here is rise 1, run 2. The slope is 1/2. But what's the slope here? The slope is just rise 1/2 and run 2 is 1/4. So there is a stretch. It's stretched. Well, first of all, it flipped, right? Because this bowl was going downwards and now it's going upwards. So there definitely is a flip. So of -1. But also, there's a stretch, a vertical stretch. It's actually a compression. And look at this. How deep is this? It's deep. It has a depth of 1. But now look, it only has a depth of 1/2. All those y values got compressed by half. So you're going to take your f of x, not x. Some people just said x and you got that wrong. You have to have an f there. What do we do to the graph of f of x? You flip it and you compress it by multiplying by 1/2. Let's see what happens if you do that to this graph. If I take this graph and I flip it, first of all, if I take every y value and I multiply by -1/2. So what's the y value here? 1. And you multiply by that -1/2? Well, 1 times -1/2 is -1/2. So that goes there. What's the y value here? 2. Multiply 2 times -1/2. 2 times -1/2 is -1. So that's going to go down to here. Okay, this is y value is 1. You multiply that by -1/2. It's like this. So you're going to have this kind of situation. Okay, this y value here is 2. 2 times -1/2 is -1. So you're going to have this. And then let's take this value. This is -1. The y value is -1. -1 times -1/2 is +1/2. So we're going to have that. That looks, oh, that's already what I need. So there is no horizontal shift and no vertical shift. So that's my final answer. Okay, I went really fast on this version for a much more lengthy and detailed explanation on the problem of your need. See the other video, version A. Peace out.